Dead Workers Party on Smite, episode 42, recorded on March 13th, 2014. I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Afro Monkey.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
And I'm Nivik.
And today, we're going to talk about your favorite MOBA, Smite.
That's right.
Yes.
Officially released in just about 2 weeks.
Ooh, it's close.
Yes.
Getting
Very,
close.
very, very close.
You got to get your pool side in now if you want it, because it's going to be gone
ladies.
soon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth it. It's worth every
Cannonball.
penny.
I don't even
And it's
play.
worth pennies to high res because they get money, and it's worth pennies to the teams that play in the tournament
Yes, teams in the
because they get
tournaments.
more winning.
I really don't even play Poseidon a lot, but I bought the skin just for
Yep, me too.
You know, the chance I'll get in an assault or whatever. 'cause
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just can't resist the urge to release the Quacken.
Play him and play him. I played him more ever since that skin, of
Yeah.
course. So and speaking of the tourney, I don't know if y'all saw that video that was released this week. I want to say that maybe Patch or Octane Pro released it, but it was on the last. I think one of the last tournament matches. And it was kind of showing what the community is like for Smite. We had someone in the chat room ask us, well, is this Smite, a bunch of jerks or is it good people? Well, so we already know who's going to be in the tournament, right? It was already
Yes.
wrapped up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Right.
in the beginning of the match, they all came to the middle and were just jumping around and dancing with each other. Like,
Really?
one team could have gone off and just smoked the other team at any moment, but then they're just having fun and jumping around and even when the game started, instead of going at it, then they all just kind of went their separate ways and went out to
The standard starting points.
they knew what was going on. They're just having fun, and that's kind of, I think, a good representation of what the Smite community is compared to other MOBAs. There was in LoL a couple seasons ago, there was a match where the two teams they talked about it beforehand. They did basically an assault. You're supposed to play Conquest like you play Conquest.
Yeah.
Well, they did an ARAM, and this is kind of before ARAM was really huge, I guess, in League of Legends. I mean, it was getting big or whatever. But the two teams went all mid, all random, all mid, and they got in trouble. They got disqualified and stuff from the tournament, I believe. And it because, you didn't follow the rules or whatever. And it was just...
One team won and one team lost. I don't see how that's against the rules.
Yeah.
Well, because they talked about it, they said they were, I forget the word, precluded or something like that. You're the wordsmith, Nivik. What's the word when you talk to each other beforehand?
Collusion?
Colluded. They colluded.
Loaded.
Yeah, I made a word out of your word. How's that? So there's your answer. The community's great, and I think it should stay that way. I know Nivik and I had a BMer in our game last night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So do you want to set down what happened?
He was laughing at
I
your
would
bill.
love to. Brent and I we just started playing together, and we decided to play a Conquest match. And we both popped in. We decided, we're together. We're playing Conquest, so might as well try to do the duo lane.
We were holding hands. We were together.
Yeah, exactly. So I was Apollo, and Brent was Emir.
And you know how I am with an Amir, right?
Cold.
Yeah,
Yeah, cold.
Cold.
Ice cold.
he's ice cold. So the other people on our team, there was an Anubis mid, a Vimana solo, and our jungler, who was the devil, was a Hoonbot.
His name was
and-
Mr. Goober or something.
Yeah, it was like Little Gober. It was something weird.
I
like
wasn't
that.
giving his real name. I was just...
Oh, well, I was. Whoops.
Was he
Coach
wearing the
Roland.
spacesuit?
No.
He wasn't.
No,
he
he's
wasn't
not that
nearly cool enough to wear that
Yeah.
suit. Exactly. So Brett and I, we held our lane pretty well. We died a couple times in the beginning, and the first hint of really bad mouthing that this guy had, I was 1 and 2 as Apollo, and he was like, "Stop feeding." I was like, well, I'm 1 and 2. I don't know how that's feeding exactly. The game's been going for 5 minutes, but all right, we'll let you go on your merry way. And during the fight, Brent and I were, like I said, we were holding our lane. We were the first lane that got a tower down.
And then got the mid tower. We took 2 towers down.
Nice.
Exactly. And it was all it was all pretty all right for the most part. And then during mid to late game, Hoonbots just started getting angry. and started blaming people for everything that was going on, and none of it was his fault, of course.
Yeah, and take it one step further is this. It was team fight time, right? In Conquest, you get to a point where it's time to ball up and go kill people.
Yeah.
Right. Take towers, take phoenixes, and kill.
Unless they're all dead, and you're trying to split push to get towers down while they're all dead.
So it was time. And this guy would just run off. He would just always be off, pushing another lane or running through the thing. And he was VGS master. Like, always the jerks are VGS masters. And it's help, until it, knocks him out and he can't say anything anymore. Yeah. So we're having to go, save his butt, which ends up getting our team killed because we're coming in, one at a time to help his sucky gameplay. And, maybe he was new, but he sure didn't act like it. He knew the commands, and he knew...
that he spammed careful. Be careful. Be careful.
He spammed everything. Everything at all times.
Well, and it's always those guys that really know the VGS commands, and they want the team. Basically, they want to be the leader of the team.
Yeah.
And the moment you show that you're not just going to blindly follow them, then they just build up this rage, and... they just do their own thing, and it's like, okay, so just because we're not going to do exactly what you say every single time, you're just going to go and play your own game, basically.
Yeah, and at 10 minutes, he was surrendering, trying to get surrender. And it was like, we weren't losing at all. We were holding steady with the other team pretty much the whole time. We even, near the end there, we could have won it if he had stayed with us. If he had been with us, we would have won. Because we had 2 Phoenixes down, I think.
Yeah.
And it was
no, we had one tower left, and we were on the middle Phoenix at one point.
So it was just like, I don't know. It's sometimes it's frustrating, but I think part of the issue is like you said, we were kind of dying early. I died a couple times early, and it was like one time I was like, wow, I didn't even realize we were that far up in the lane.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of pushing back, going, okay, the tower's going to protect me any second now, and then I'm like, oh god, the tower's way back there. And a lot of my issues were items, just
trying to find stuff.
Well, Conquest, we don't play a lot, and really the items you buy to me are so different from what I would buy in Joust,
right?
Or in pretty much in any other match. So I'm asking Kevin, what am I buying? And then add on all the changes to the items. Then it's like when I finally decided, okay, I want this, could find it.
Well, and that's
so frustrating.
Been me in the last week of playing off and on is every time I start getting used to the new store, they make more changes, and then I'm like, but I just figured out where that was.
Yeah,
and you changed the name of it, you bastards.
The name and the icon.
It took me at least a minute to find Salvation today because both the icons are different now, and I'm like, well, what's this hooded thing, right? Oh, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. It seems like kind of a small price to pay for being beta testers, basically. But, it's going to happen. But I'd hate to see this happen a lot, after release.
And maybe that's why they're doing all these changes now.
Right.
So after release, it's kind of set, and other than adding new items and maybe doing the tweaks and such, that they don't have to do these massive dramatic changes.
Right.
That's why I also think they're doing all the icon arts, and they're making all the icon art have the same art style, which I think is really cool because it's nifty to them when you have your full build. You look in the bottom right hand corner and you see your full build of items, and they all have this right art style, so it all feels like it's cohesive.
Yeah,
right.
That's an impression that I get anyway. So I really like the new icons for the items,
and then
even though it makes it hard to find.
Mm-hmm. And then you leave the match and you see everybody's avatar and you're like, well, those don't really fit in. But, whatever. Give them one
Mr.
thing.
Donut Man.
Yeah, Mr. Donut.
Yeah.
I like the donut.
So basically that Hoonbats was a jerk face.
Yes, Mr. Gober.
Yeah.
Don't play with him.
Yeah. Gober. And of course, then I think we and Anubis after the match we told everyone in the lobby, we're like, please report this guy for harassment. And me and Brett and Anubis, of course, reported him. And I'm sure other people did too, hopefully. But it's just, there's no excuse.
One thing that you said about this guy, and I was watching one of Kelly's streams today, and she's doing a new series of streams where she's trying to teach people how to play Conquest. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that she said resonated especially in that situation, is if you're losing or your team loses or you're doing poorly. Yes, your team could be doing extremely poorly, but you should blame yourself and analyze your game and figure out what you could have done that was better.
Yeah,
because you can't change the way you can ask them to do stuff, you can tell them to do stuff, but what your team does is up to them. So figure out how you can make your game better so that if they are poor players, you being a great player is going to kind of balance it out and possibly give you a chance to win.
Yeah, because like we were saying, like we definitely did not have like our best game.
Yeah,
there were definitely things we could have improved on, and just even who you play against, it's like, you usually don't always play against the same combination of people, so you should be learning something no matter what.
Yeah.
So. Also, tournament stuff. We got a couple more donations. Just Will threw in $5 and change, and Zapple threw in a couple bucks.
Thank you so much.
So thank you all. They were up to 107.
Woo.
Nice. 107 smackers. So definitely appreciate that. And you can go to smite.deadworkers.com and help us feed our kids.
Yes, my kids.
And my kids, yes.
My lizard, actually.
I like to refer to him as my Chirin.
And speaking of our kids,
our little mistake.
We had a little patch this week. A couple of them, little kitty patches, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds bad. But,
Yeah,
kitty patch. Kitty patch.
Yeah.
So the first thing is we got Golden Mercury. The heavy metal Thor skin has had a variety of FX improvements.
Yeah.
Items have had a lot of changes.
Yes.
Like wait.
Now, I was wondering one thing about the gold skins. Do you guys think they're always going to be slightly behind with gold skins, or maybe when the game comes out, a god will come out with their gold skin?
I don't know. Like, I kind of am wondering, because the gold skins really are just recolors of a regular skin. So I'm kind of wondering why it does take them so long to issue those.
I think it's marketing. So pretty much every god comes out with a recolor, right?
Yeah.
So that gives you a week to buy the recolor, and then not many people are going to have. Well, I guess it's just Mastery 1, but
Right.
Not legendary at least. Hey, they're safe. No, it gives them a couple of weeks to get the recolor out there, and then maybe you've got gems or whatever.
Yeah, and that is true, because if someone sees that gold skin or legendary skin is available and they really like that god, they're probably gonna rank it so they can get the gold skin as opposed to buying just a recolor. So I definitely see where they could be coming from for that.
Yeah,
that makes sense too.
Because you can get it with favor, right?
Yeah.
So
and in the same vein of us talking about how maybe it wasn't the best idea for them to release Poolside and Athena and Valentine's Chang'e at the same time. So perhaps that's the same. What we were saying is the rationale for that. So for not releasing them together, because it's like overwhelming then.
Yeah.
I understand that. So maybe they will. But I mean, they can really. I think they're only I think it's maybe Nemesis and Scylla. Now that they did Mercury, I think Mercury was the last one. So now I guess they're really only two gods behind.
Okay.
If you feel like that.
Do you think they'll ever go beyond Legendary, beyond 10?
I think they will. I mean, Brenda said this before, but in 2 years, everyone is going to have max masteries. And it was in beta at least, which are a lot. There are a lot of people in beta, and everyone is going to have a couple level 10 gods. So there's got to be something else you're going to want to work for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So does anybody remember when they released this system of gods getting to level 1, basically?
Oh, yeah.
You mean like worshippers?
Yeah.
So I think it had been before we all started playing.
No. Worshippers was definitely after we started playing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sure?
Yeah, because when we started playing, they just had levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and it seems like it really wasn't that long ago that they came out with worshippers.
For some reason, I'm thinking 8 or 9 months, but maybe it's longer than that.
Well, okay, how many did it start out? It seemed like it was 30 something. Was
30
the first like the max rank when it first started?
Yeah,
like 38.
Oh, okay.
38 seems to ring a bell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. Yeah. So it was. I remember. So this podcast is why I started playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were like 4 or 5 episodes in when I actually checked it out, and I definitely remember worshippers being in the game then. And I think Fenrir was the newest god at the time. Maybe it was Isis.
Falcon said it's Athena, the Athena patch.
Yeah.
The Athena patch. But if it's... I'm trying to figure out how long that's been, because that's a good gauge, right? We've had all these people playing this game for that amount of time. We've got a lot of people that are up to 50 gods.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your... Once the game's released, that's how long it's going to take for someone to get 50 gods. Well, at that point... that number becomes kind of useless when everybody's 50 and
like everybody's legendary.
It's no longer prestigious to have that because everyone will have it. So
well, it's kind of cool that you can still gain worshippers after legendary. Like my level 10 Anubis would be like 11 by now. He's got 1100 or 1200 worshippers.
Yeah, my legendary Neath has like I think 1400 or something like that.
So whenever they do up it, we'll just automatically have... Because I remember when they... I had a level 1 Bakasura, and then they redid the leveling system, and suddenly overnight he was level 2.
Yeah. And I think when they redid that, there was a couple that I had that were on the cusp. Yeah. So either they did go to level 1 when they changed it over, or 1 or 2 games and they went up, so...
No, so this reminds me of something that I notice a lot when I'm playing matches, and I agree that in 8 or 9 months' time, this won't be so much useful anymore, but I think that right now, the mastery number is a very good gauge of how... I don't want to say how good someone is at Smite, but how knowledgeable they are, I'll say is a better word. Yeah. So I personally, when I'm looking, like... Because I look at the other team, I look at my team when we're in the little loading screen. I will look at everyone's like masteries with their god and their masteries overall. And I am much more afraid of someone that it's like 2 and 50 than I am someone that's like 10 and 9.
Yeah.
Like personally, like I'll see that kind of person be like, well, that person and has like played only that god and like nothing else.
Right.
Like... And like, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm not so afraid of you because maybe you don't really know like other people very well. Yeah. And I know Afromonkey is an outlier. Like he's great with Neath. So like,
but he even says that now he feels like he's not as good as he was when he was
I'm
really
not. And
Neath.
it's both because of item changes and my builds are different.
Right.
But it's also, I got too comfortable with Neath and I wasn't trying to learn anything new. Like today when I played, I didn't play Neath a single time. I played Bacchus in an Assault, and then I played Hercules in an Arena and did horribly. And another god, but Sobek in the Game of the Day.
Yeah.
But, and I had so much fun playing gods that weren't Neath because...
She gets old. I understand.
No. It's one of those. I'm this level, rank 10 Neath, and then I go into a match and start playing, and I just suck. And I'm like, I know I can play Neath better than this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I put an expectation on myself that I have to be good because I've ranked this god up to 10. So
yeah. And see, I don't have a god near 10 yet. I think my highest is like 4. Yeah. I just got a mirror to like 3. But yeah, I'm kind of with Kevin. Like I fear I have one god mastered and he's 10. Okay, I know you've played him your entire life, right? Yeah. Or they've got 50 masteries. So I'm like, okay, you're well-rounded. You know how pretty much everything works, and you're going to know how the game works.
And then you got those guys that have a lot of ranks.
And then you have people like Okami that you see, and it's like 10 and 50.
Yeah.
With her Chang'e. And you're like, that's terrifying.
That's what I was about to say, is like you got those people that have a lot of ranks, and they come in with their 10, and they're like, I might as well can I surrender now? Like, can you just keep hitting?
See, they need to let you rank them up to 20, and that'll be the badass rank. So you just be, we've got a badass here. And then, like audio cue says it when they come in, and like fans come down and throw them roses and crap in the middle of the arena.
I'm reminded of, I think it was an arena match like 3 or 4 days ago that my team were people. I mean, there was like I think I was actually the highest masteries on my team. I think I was 30 then, and we had like a 26. I don't remember exactly, but it was like 17 and then like 10 and 13 or something. And the other team had like 50, 50, 49, 37, 26. And I was just like, oh, this is not going to be a good time. And it wasn't. and like one of the 50s was a Zeus that was also like level 8 and had like 2,000 kills. It was not a good time. I remember the match. I was playing Skilla, and we did not do well at all. It was bad. It was a bad time. So
speaking of a bad time,
yeah,
at the item store has undergone several feature enhancements and bug fixes. The recommended items are now on a separate tab on the item store and have undergone significant changes and improvements. Performance optimization. Search now applies to all item tiers regardless of current filter type. Removed crit chance filter for magic users since they don't need it.
Yeah.
And stacking items no longer available in Assault.
Wait, stacking?
So no building stacks.
I wonder why.
Because there's a lot of minions compared to.
Oh, okay.
I think
Is this too easy or
there's
something?
more minions. So is that why, Kevin? Because there's more minions, or is it because they don't want people fighting over the minions for stacks?
I think it's part of the minions for stacks thing, but I think it's also one of the disadvantages with Assault is that you can't go back and get better items unless you die, and stacking items inherently get better as they're played, right? So it's like, in essence, it's like getting another item without having to die and go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, that it removes the penalty. Like, you could get all stacking items then, and it'd be like, I can get full ranked items without having to go back, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
See, I'm not worried about that because, like, the other team has the same
Ability to do
ability.
that.
It's like
That's
being
true.
all random, it's like, well, as long as everything's kind of in an even format. It could be. I mean, I think that's a very logical explanation. I'm thinking it's more of the keep people from getting angry, because when there's two people who need to build stacks for, like, say, a Bakasura and a Jean Kui.
Yeah.
God, I hate listening to him cry about, I gotta build stacks.
Oh, I know, every time.
And then
Right.
the guilt you sometimes feel when you're actually thinking about it and you just clear a minion wave.
Oh, I feel no guilt.
Well,
yeah.
I want my team to do well, and I see Zhang Kui standing over to the side, kind of like
Crying.
oh,
Filling out some tax paperwork.
yeah. She's like, I'll just submit this to the IRS.
I just feel like, because, like, Fenrir is another one that it's just like, you really want it, but it's just so hard to get them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be clearing those lanes and not getting pushed to your tower anyway. It's just like, I'd say just push it and let them cry.
And it's one of those things where, in a lot of regards, it's you're not mentally thinking about that. You're thinking about your own gameplay and not trying to figure out someone else's character on your team.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I could have left that minion wave for you, but I got a lot of stuff going on right now, And
Yeah.
you're just sitting over there filling out tax forms.
Well, and that's
Assault,
money for
there's-
everybody, right?
Yeah.
And there's also in Assault, all the action is more or less happening where those minions are
Yeah.
all of the time. Like, there are very few times when you're doing something not around minions being there. So going in and trying to get stacks when there's this massive team fight happening in the exact same area
Yeah.
is just unrealistic. So maybe it's also kind of high risk trying to idiot proof Assault a little bit. Being like, if you get stacking items, you're screwing yourself over, so we're not going to let you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, also, jungle buff timers now appear only if your team had visibility on the buff camp when the buff was last taken.
This is good. This is a good change.
And this is with player, ward, or pet, which I think I said last week that I thought if you had a ward down that it would apply, but apparently not, because they were very specific in mentioning that the ward was added as a way of visibility.
And I think this is fine. I would still be okay even if it went further and said only the player who saw it.
Yeah.
And he could tell his team. But, you know, in a game where your 5v5 is probably, or I guess it's ranked, the league is your solo. You're not on audio queue.
Yeah.
It'd be harder to tell people when timers are.
True.
But what if they added a VGS that had the variable for the time? So I'd say, you know, like
Like you do the first 3 keys and then
and
type
it could be
in-
like whatever camp you're at.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
says,
yeah.
This buff will be up in
10
blah, blah,
seconds.
blah.
Yeah.
And then put a ping on the map and there you go.
Well, I guess there are 4, right? So it could be just like, I don't know what the VGS would be, but there's only like, you could just say blue, red, yellow, or mid. Like that's, I guess Fire Giant and Gold Fury, sort of. I don't know, but I feel like they're so much longer. I think they're each 4 minutes. So that, and the main camps are 2 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
I think, if I could be completely wrong, but I think this is what I've heard from the Smite Reddit, that it could be pretty easy to just be like this camp in, or soon. Maybe it could just be soon. It wouldn't even have to be like a specific time. It could just be like the blue camp will be up soon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a lot easier than you can just go through and hit your camp and then soon. Bam.
Yep. Announcer for multi-kills and some other in-game achievements have been modified. And I assume that's
Divide.
sped up so they
God.
happen when they happen, right?
Yeah, I
Killing spree.
Yeah, I talked to Bit the other night, and he's like, the update's kind of like old school, like
Quake or
yeah,
Quake,
Quake.
yeah.
Unreal tournament. Yeah.
And he's like multi kill.
I like it. It makes you feel really good. Like when you're like, I'm divine now. Pretty sweet. Now I'm immortal. I'm almighty. Oh yeah.
How many kills is Divine?
Divine, I think, is 5.
Oh, I kind of like Pentakill better.
Oh no, it still has that. This is just these are kill streaks.
Oh,
so
not
like
like-
killing that many people before you die.
Yes.
Not all at once.
Exactly. So killing spree is getting 3 kills without dying.
yeah. And I definitely I was in several matches where people were racking them up.
Now, I'm for anything that rewards people for not dying.
Yeah.
Because I
Yes,
still think
absolutely.
people don't realize that. I mean, that game we had 18. I mean, that guy had 18 deaths in it.
Yeah.
Ah, the
You know?
jungler guy?
No, he had a lot, but
It was our Anubis. That was like 17 and 18.
yeah. I mean, he had a lot of kills, but it's still like
Right.
you still had a lot of deaths too. Anyway, so the combat log has been added, allowing you to see how much. Did you see what I did there? That was my
was a real little
Star
pause.
Trek pause. See how much damage you are dealing and people are dealing to you. So that's good. Stats. People love stats.
Yeah.
And you can no longer report the AI bots from the end of the match lobby in co-op matches.
I
Seems
that
just
is
intuitive.
that is a change that I do not like because I do believe that bot beside him was feeding.
I'm pretty sure.
Now,
That's awesome.
well, the multi-kills thing also made me think of one tip that I think is important to reiterate. It is more important that you don't die than you get the kill.
Yeah.
So if you could get a kill, but I'm going to go in and I'll die as soon as I get this kill, don't do it. It's
And-
not worth it then.
The only exception is if you can get multiple kills. Like
Correct.
Basically make the
Exactly.
ratio so it's like 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. If you can get a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1, then yes. I don't care if you die, but if you get 4 kills in the process, more power to you.
Right.
Right.
So
So
if
if
you
it's-
can pull a tower in. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get, that's exactly right. I'm not going to repeat what Afromonkey said, but just basically don't be reckless. It's not worth it to just go in and die because sometimes you'd be like, oh, I can get this kill. I'll die, but I'll get this kill, and you be reckless, and then they kill you, and you still didn't get the kill.
Yeah. And then they kill
Because
your
you were
other
reckless.
teammates and they end up winning the game.
Especially
Exactly.
the teammates that were coming to help you because you were stupid enough to just charge
Right.
in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I won't say that happened in any of our 3v3 games this week. But, I've seen it before.
Well, that's too bad.
We were all doing that. It's okay. We were all being reckless.
So we'll have another show next week, and actually, Patrick or Octane Pro is going to be guest hosting on it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to listen to that live, we'll be doing it at 8 p.m. Central on Thursday, and then the Thursday after that will be our last show before the tournament. and it may just be a hey, what are we looking forward to the tournament kind of show, depending on.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so what do we have between there? We have next week another patch, probably.
Yeah.
Right, and then the week after that another patch. So are we
Last
going to
minute
see
patch.
another god and a reskin or a
It possibly, but I was kind of expecting if they were going to do both, that one of them would have dropped this week.
right?
Right, me too. That's what I was thinking.
So maybe you were right. Maybe they meant two gods, but maybe one was a new god and one was reskin. I don't know.
Right. Well, just have to say they may be holding one off, so it's like bam at. See, that's my thing. Is like, are they really going to do a patch the day before the tournament?
Yeah,
I think I've been looking, and the things I've said from Stu mentioned that people should not expect a big patch on release day. That they're probably going to have everything be set up. I'm assuming they're probably just going to be doing bug fixes. Like they're not going to want to add new content and maybe break the game when they're supposed to be releasing it, right? So they're going to be like, we're just going to do bug fixes and try to get it running as nicely as it can.
Yeah.
True that.
And what day does it actually release on again? Is it actually the
25th?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like the 25th. So that's that whole week really nothing but like a bug fix patch.
That's on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
So that's really 1 week. Are they going to do a god and a I don't even know,
Reskin.
a repackage,
Yeah.
whatever, a re-god in the same week?
Yeah.
Maybe. Time will tell, gentlemen.
Time will tell.
Could happen. Maybe they're working overtime.
Could
Yeah.
happen.
I know when she was doing, although Kelly's community manager, but she did say that they were all very busy this week and they're going to be very busy next week.
Yeah.
So-
But you know what they weren't too busy to do?
What?
What was that?
Put our video in high res. You want to tell us more about that, Mr. Fullerton?
Yeah, so we are on the High Res YouTube channel, and it's just a short little announcement saying that we're going to be at the Smite tournament and the GameVid Expo,
Yeah.
and we're just there and we're excited to go. And it ended up on their channel. It's like 30-second video, but it's
Yeah.
just kind of neat to see us there. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm
And I
not
thought
there because I left early.
That's right.
Oh, well.
And I
That's
thought the
too bad.
GameVid Expo was running out of tickets, but I just saw today there's 850 now. So
Oh.
they got more space, or they put up another round of tickets. So
Yeah.
plenty of tickets for you to go get.
Yeah.
So go get you a ticket.
And if you can get a ticket and get to Atlanta, we'll see you there.
Yes. Yes, we will see you there.
We will. We got to do a meetup. We
Yeah.
gotta,
Yes.
we got to
just
figure out
make
a
sure
time.
you
Smite up.
tweet it out, you know?
Tweet
Tweet it out. That's right. Tweet it out.
We'll do a Smeet up.
Follow us at Dead Workers right
Smoked
now
up.
so you can get ready for our tweets when we tweet it out.
Yeah. Tweet it out, your rumparoo.
So how are you guys liking Scylla now that it's been like another week with her?
I actually
Lot
have
of
not
fun.
played her since those initial days.
Oh,
I've seen people are doing quite well with her in matches, but she seems very bursty but very squishy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell
Anyway.
you, when I'm running from her, I'm like terrified when I see her like the like snakes come up in the air, and I'm like, oh god, she's about to kill me!
Or you hear the little like audio cue of like the "I'm a monster" and you're like, "Oh god."
A monster. Yeah, she's kind of fun in Joust. That's fun. We did some 3v3, and I played her.
Right.
Yeah.
And pretty cool. I mean, pretty nice to have a ward you can throw in the mid side lane.
Yeah,
Just quickly. I mean, it only lasts a few seconds, but
but
it's kind of cool. And a great way to run away from people. I always found myself throwing my ward to the left and then running to the right and letting them chase me for a few seconds and then teleport.
Yeah.
And now there's no way they can catch up with you at that point. Not even with a jump or any kind of like ability. So kind of hard to chase down, but easy to kill when you hit her. I mean,
Now,
she's
one thing
real
that
squishy.
may be interesting to note is Scylla was in no way balanced this week.
Yeah.
They did not change anything about her stats,
Yeah.
meaning she was, as far as high res is concerned, was a completely balanced god on release.
Rock solid.
That's pretty
Which is
good.
pretty cool.
You know, every now and then they're probably going to have that where the stats basically say, well, we don't really need to do anything. We hit it on the nail the first
Yeah.
time.
And I'm wondering if they actually go from like at this point with 50 gods and stuff, if they can go from their like practice stats, because we saw the doc on the stats for like live servers.
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably keep that on their test servers too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
now I wonder if now they can make those tweaks kind of with all this data and go, oh, okay, well, she's going to be. We're going to have to nerf her if we put her out like that.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and rebalance her there a little bit. And if so, it's working. Good job.
Yeah.
Definitely good job.
I did want to say, because someone in our chat room, this is the first time he's actually gotten to watch the show live.
Nice.
Bob the Titan 1.
What up, Bob?
Hey.
And
Hey, Bobby.
He wanted tips for new players. And I was gonna tell him, the game is gonna force you to play the tutorial.
Yeah.
It's gonna teach you a lot of bad stuff that is not gonna apply when you're actually playing against other players.
Uh-oh. He's angry about that
Oh, are
tutorial.
you talking trash about the tutorial?
Well, I mean, it's just the truth. Bots don't play like real players.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play bots.
Well, and the
Don't play
tutorial is
bots.
gonna have you playing against bots.
Right.
So what I say is, if you really want to learn about Smite, get on Twitch, which you're on right now. Start finding people who stream Smite, especially on the Smite Game channel or Smite Pro, and watch them and see what they're doing. I know Dry Bear does a lot of stuff where he explains why he bought something or why he's doing a particular thing in a particular way. Like I said earlier, Kelly is doing a series where she's basically teaching people how to play Conquest. There's a lot of people who stream that if you just ask in their chat, and albeit chat for these big channels is very busy, but if they see your question, they will try to answer it the best that they can.
Yeah.
So just watch people play, jump in, start playing yourself, and you'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
With a very confusing item store at the moment.
Yes.
So don't buy any.
It's like riding a bike with 50 gears.
Yeah.
So Bob, I hope that helps you out.
Thanks. Nice tip. That'd be the new segment. Just the tip.
That's right.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
that? But you gotta say it like a god. Just the tip.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay,
rock.
so we're getting to an hour here, I think, aren't we? I can't remember how late Kevin was.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Thanks, Brent.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Not really.
Oh my gosh. I had a quick little Skilla tip
yeah.
that I've
Skilla tip.
noticed is
You're
pretty
gonna-
sweet.
You're gonna skill us on Skilla?
I'm gonna skillet you.
Nice.
That was bad. A lot of people don't know this, but when you're in your monster form, you can still pop your 2. You can still click it, make it blow up. You can't make it blow up when you're doing anything in your monster form. So, like, if you're hitting someone with your 1, like if you clicked and you're about to like pounce on them, you can't do anything. Or if you're mid animation of like growing into it or going down, you can't. But if you're like just in the form, you can pop your 2. So nice combo I found is to throw your 1 to stun the person, toss your 2 on top of them, go into your god or your big form, hit your 2 to blow it up, and then slam down on them.
That's pretty
So they'll be
cool.
like,
I didn't know that.
just in case the 1 wears off before you manage to like be able to hit them, your 2 will still keep them a little still slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you want to.
It's cool.
Then you can slam down on them and almost certainly kill them
Oh.
if they were a squishy.
Apparently, we gave him more than just the tip. This time.
That's right. I get the whole thing.
Great. It's great. Is that it?
That's it.
I think that finishes out the show. We still need questions for Kelly, which you can.
We would really appreciate that.
Oh, and we got a couple, but we don't want to just send her 1 or 2. And send her at least 5. So
Yeah.
when we get a few more, you can send those to us at smite@deadworkers.com. You can leave us a voicemail.
At 662-736-8260.
And leave us some iTunes reviews.
And we have forums on our website that you guys can use.
Yeah. Deadworkers.com.
Join the party.
Join that there party. And also,
Smite on!
Right on.
Smite on.
I did a quick one.
You
I was gonna say go to netflix.com/deadworkersparty. Get yourself
Smite on!
some trial action.
yeah.
And finally,
Smite on!
Let's get out of here, baby. There's a whole world out there to explore.